So just a quick intro on myself. My name is Chase. I'm the social media manager here at CertiK. So can you give me a quick intro on you and what you guys are building over there?
Yeah, sure. So, Paul Fari, co-founder of Solidus AITECH. We are building or have already built a 8,000 square foot data center in Bucharest, Romania, and we are in the process of buying servers to go inside the data center directly from NVIDIA. So we're buying a combination of NVIDIA DGX A100s and also H100s, which are the newer, more powerful model. And that's effectively what we're doing. We have a token that's attached to our project, and I'm happy to go into more details on that in a moment if you require.
Yeah, sure. I'm always kind of curious, people get some creative ways to incorporate tokens and crypto into some different things. So what's the kind of use case for the token?
Yeah, okay, good question. So the ATEC token is the world's first deflationary AI and HPC utility token to be used as primarily a payment gateway to license AI as a service software applications, license blockchain as a service, rent high performance computing power, and it will also be used in the artificial intelligence marketplace that we're building, and it will act and be paid out as a reward token in that particular ecosystem.
Okay, I see. So this isn't a typical, crypto project we come across or that you see scrolling through Twitter. So what's kind of the background behind creating this? What kind of was the thought process there?
Yeah, okay. So my background is traditional finance and fundraising, and I was raising funds for a number of different entities back in 2015, 2016, in particular property developers and also renewable energy companies that are building waste to energy plants. And then we got the 2017 bull run, and
Mm.
we had a lot of our clients that were interested in crypto. I had already personally invested into Bitcoin in 2015, and so I had an interest. I just wasn't involved in it in a business way. It was more just for investment. So a series of events happened, and I was put in contact with a family friend of mine, Adrian Stoica, who is now co-founder to the business, Romanian guy, and he was building out Ethereum mining farms, and he had been doing that for maybe a year and a half prior to our meeting. And we have capabilities of raising funds. He had the technical know-how of how to build out Ethereum mining farms. And so we decided to join forces, and a company was incorporated called Solidus Technologies. It was incorporated back in December 2017. We joined forces with Soft Galaxy International. We raised the finances, and they built out the Ethereum mining farm. So we built an 8,000 square foot data center in Bucharest, Romania, bought thousands of GPUs and begun mining the Ethereum network. So that's really where the idea was born. We knew that there was going to be a time constraint on mining Ethereum, but we could see that we had a couple of years to try and kind of get the most out of mining the Ethereum network as possible. With that in mind, we kind of put things in place, put things in place to shift our focus into a different area when the shelf life of Ethereum come, which was last September. And so artificial intelligence was the area that we could see vision and maximum growth potential. Is still a very young market in comparison to others. And it meant that we could utilize the data center that we'd built, but just with different hardware. And that's when Solidus AITECH was born, early 2021. But we didn't launch the project. It took some time to get everything in place. We didn't launch it until November 2021. So that's how the idea basically come about.
Okay, I see. And then I feel like with this, there can be very many hurdles. What's kind of the toughest things that you guys have had like came across so far? Because it seems like it's a lot of technology and a lot of timing and everything like that. So like, what's kind of the
Yeah.
biggest challenges you faced?
Launching a project at the beginning of a bear market was definitely not a good idea. We launched literally weeks after Bitcoin's all-time high. It wasn't planned that way. It's just how it happened, and yeah, it wasn't good timing. We've done pretty well in really in this market, in these kind of conditions. We've raised close, I believe, to $6 million US, but it has taken over a year to do that. So it's not been ideal, to be honest with you, but it is what it is, and we've managed to survive the bear market, and hopefully we're coming into to better times now.
Yeah, it's good to hear. I mean, seems like you guys have a pretty big community, and they're showing up for Discord AMAs and whatnot. So you must be doing something pretty good. It's never the right time, I guess. There's always a better time to do it, but just got to get it started and then it'll all work out. So let's see. I had another question. What sets Solidus apart from other HPCs, other competitors?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I would say our location is pretty good. So we have the fastest ping speed that comes directly out of Bucharest, Romania, which most definitely helps with latency issues. So that does give us a massive advantage for speed. Our electricity costs are relatively low in comparison to other certainly other countries in Europe, and also globally. And where our data centers built, we are in a place called Laser Valley. So it's where the military base is in Romania, and the land in which the data center has been built on, it benefits from some kind of tax breaks because of exactly where it is. So we do get rebates, although our electricity is cheap in comparison to other countries. On top of that, we get rebates of 25% per quarter back from the authorities because of where the data center is situated. So that definitely helps. Electricity is the biggest cost when it comes to running a data center, and there isn't any HPC centers that I know of that accept crypto as a form of payment for such services. So that does set us apart as well from other organizations in the space.
Okay, yeah, I was curious as why, that location, but I guess that makes a lot of sense. So
Well, to be
okay.
honest with you, it's really so. Look, my position in the company is, I'm not a developer. I'm not really technical. My kind of skill sets, as I said before, is fundraising, marketing. I'm structuring the whole business, tokenomics. Um, as I said, marketing, partnerships. And then we've got Adrian, who is the co-founder to the business, and he is more technical. And our tech team is based in Bucharest, Romania. So we have different skill sets, but they complement each other, and that's why Romania. But of course, we do benefit from low electricity and faster speeds, which is definitely beneficial for a data center.
Gotcha. And then for, just the average Joe or someone who's not that technical or anything. So like what are some use cases for Solidus? Why should the average person kind of, look into it?
Okay, well, we're going to be servicing more B2B. Not to say that we won't be servicing B2C, and there's going to be software developers that would use our services, but we're going to be offering services for on the AI side of things for example, virtual assistants for healthcare, traffic congestion, smart cities, self-driving cars, voice and face recognition. So there's a number of different applications that will be available on our platform for governmental authorities or large corporations, or even if it's just a software developer, if they need to require those types of services, they'll be available to be licensed on our platform. And in addition to that, we are building an AI marketplace that will also be on our platform, because we're going to have a lot of different applications that can be licensed that we've built in-house with our research and development team, but we're not going to have every application under the sun, and to have that would be tricky. So having a marketplace means that software developers that have built different applications for different use cases can bring them to our platform, and then our users can license those applications, and we'll have a profit share model with the developers. So it brings more applications to our platform, and of course our users will then license those applications. So it benefits both sides, and there will be a reward system in place for rewarding the applications that are used the most. Those developers will then earn rewards in our tokens as well.
Okay. You guys seem like very busy people over there. Feel like you're
We
always
are,
building
yeah,
something. There's always something new going on. I guess that's how it is in the crypto world in general.
of course, always building.
So I see that you guys have an ongoing pre-sale. Can you tell me a little bit about that? When's the end date? What users can kind of do to get involved, or anybody?
Yeah. So okay, right. So we had a seed, a private, and a pre-public. It's been a very very long pre-public. As I said, we launched this in the bear market. I think to date we've raised around 3.1 million in the current round. So there's only a couple 100,000 left before we go to the public round. We have secured some top tier launch pads, which we're not able to announce yet, but we will be announcing in the coming weeks. We have a number of exchanges that we've agreed to list with. We're currently working on a tier 2 exchange for our initial listing, and then we'll be following up with, I think we've got 7 other exchanges that have already been agreed, signed, and paid for. So yeah, if you want to get involved now, we have a payment gateway on our website, ai-tech.io, and you can either pay in crypto. There's a number of different cryptos that we accept, but we also have a fiat payment gateway as well, whereby you can use like a debit card to make the transaction. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's left. There's definitely a couple 100,000 left before that round closes, and then it will be then exclusive to the launch pads. And I expect they'll have a minimum and a maximum allocation available for investors to be able to buy. At the moment on our platform, there isn't really. Well, there is a minimum, but it's only $500, and there's not really a maximum. I think it might be 50k or something, but yeah, that's the best way to buy at the moment if anybody wants to.
Cool. And then I got some community questions here. If you want to jump into some of those, if you're cool with that.
Sure, yeah, far away.
Cool. So Solidus AITECH is building an infrastructure as a service platform, but I would like to know what kind of customer is interested in the services they offer. Do these customers
Yeah,
have to pay in their native token, or could they pay for their services in fiat?
yeah, very good question. So as I said earlier, it's mainly B to B. So Adrian, our co-founder, owns a company called Soft Galaxy International, and they've been servicing governmental authorities. They work with organizations in the defense sector and some big corporations that everybody would have heard of. And he'll be bringing those customers across to Solidus AITECH when we're ready to provide them services. So he services them currently for software as a service, and of course they have demand for HPC and AI as a service. Those types of clients will more than likely pay in fiat. And what we'll do is we'll then use the fiat to buy the token to then buy the service on their behalf. And we then burn 5 to 10% of those tokens. So we do have a deflationary token economy, whereby every single time our token's used to use a service on our platform, whether that's renting or licensing something, we'll burn 5 to 6% of those tokens quarterly. We'll announce it to the community. So we're always going to be reducing our circulation supply. So certain partnerships that are in place already with our sister company or partner, Soft Galaxy, more than likely we'll be paying in fiat, but we'll still be utilizing the token to buy the service, and there'll still be burns happening. And then when it comes to companies that are more over this side, Web3, Metaverse, and play to earn projects, of course, their preferred method of payment will be actually using the token. And again, the same thing will happen. We'll be burning 5 to 10% of those tokens on a quarterly basis. The goal is to get our 2 billion circulation supply down to 1 billion over time. But of course, that is something that we can't really forecast. It all depends on the buying volume on our platform when it does actually go live.
Okay, I got you. That makes sense. If there's one thing I know people in crypto love, it's a good burn rate. So that's something to get people a little bit hype about.
Yeah, we'll be doing buybacks as well, so that's part of our plan. It does benefit to keep the token supply deflationary, and hopefully help the kind of token price to grow stably.
For sure. Then we got one here from Pierre. I see you promised to offer green computing, which will run with 40% less power consumption than the industry standard average. Don't you? So how are you going to maintain high computing demand at reduced energy?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm probably not the best person to
Yeah, I was
answer
gonna
this
say you said you're
question.
not that technical. That sounds
No,
like a
but I can,
technical
I can,
question.
I can answer to an extent. So basically, our research and development team have developed an IP, and it's a software that allows our hardware to run with less power consumption. And we use this same software for the Ethereum mining farm that we run up until last year. So it is because of that how we can consume less power because of the software that our teams developed. And also when it comes to our cooling system, the ventilation system, it is an air water cooled system, which again consumes less power than the industry kind of standard cooling system. So that is how we're able to be more eco-friendly. Let's be honest, we're running a data center. There's only so much you can do, but as long as we're doing something, then at least that is something.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good answer. And then we got one from Divine. You mentioned that AI is positioned to drive a personalized drug revolution. Are there any hospitals that have started using the drug diagnosis system for cancer and other diseases?
Yeah, so I can't say who at the moment. We've got a lot of partnerships that we're not able to announce just now, because they're kind of with Soft Galaxy, not directly with Solidus AITECH, but Soft Galaxy are going to be a reseller of our services. So effectively, they're kind of a partner in that way. Adrian's co-founder to the business, but we have a big medical company that will be using our HPC power to run their medical data through to discover anomalies to obviously for curing certain diseases. So we do have one big organization. They're a very, very big organization, but I can't say who they are just now.
Gotcha. And then let's see, another one from Favorite. Solidus AI Tech is solving the problem of the lack of HPC facilities in Europe. So what is the
Yeah.
purpose of Solidus AI Tech made? What is the importance of HCP that the AI Tech wants to fix this problem?
Well, there's a significant lack of HPC centers in Europe. So I think last time I checked the stats, I think it's 1/3 of the world's HPC power is consumed by European-based countries, but Europe are only outputting 5% of the world's HPC power. So there is a big demand for it, and I would say that we're solving the problem by building a supercomputer in Europe, and our vision is to be one of the largest HPC centers in Europe in the next 2 years, and then we would like to get to the top 10 globally within the next 5 years. It's a very big task, but I believe with the team that we have, and as long as we have the funding, then I don't see why we wouldn't achieve it. But the first goal is to become one of the largest in Europe, and we're well on the way to achieving that.
Gotcha. I wasn't aware of that. That's interesting. And then one more I have here, which you kind of answered already, but I'll ask again just in case there's anything you want to add. Crypto Brazil said, I understand that one of your ultimate goals is to have only 50% of the total tokens in circulation. So can you explain what plans you have in order to decrease your total supply? You said burn and buyback, but I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of throw anything else in there that you missed, maybe.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, there's maybe one point I missed. I wasn't going to mention it because I didn't want to confuse things. But yeah, so we have the buybacks, we have the burns. We also have a play to earn game that we are developing and have been for quite some time now in Unreal Engine 5. It is linked to Solidus AITECH because we're the ones that are launching it, but it's a separate project with a separate team, and it's called Rise of AITECH. We have two features in there: play to earn and play to burn. So there's going to be battle rooms inside the game. The idea is it's a world that's been overtaken by artificial intelligence, so it links into what we're doing. And there's going to be, an FPS war game to begin with, but the version 2 of it will be that we're launching battle rooms so we can battle against each other. So, for example, you and I could battle against each other, but in order to do that, we can choose a custom option where we both place, I don't know, $100 worth of ATEC tokens each into a smart contract, which will act as an escrow, and the winner takes all. And we can do this, with teams of 5. We'll do regular battle royales, last man standing. 100 people come in, and everybody puts $100 into the smart contract, and the winner takes all. So there's going to be some big competitions coming up in the future. So with the winnings, we will tax. For example, there's $1,000. We'll tax 20%. The winner takes the 80%. But what we'll do is we'll burn 10% of those tokens. So you have the play to burn feature in there, and also play to earn, and the other 10% will go back into the ecosystem to replenish tokens for winners, and then 5% to further develop the game, as we want to create new worlds and things like that to keep it interesting. So yeah, that is another way that we're going to be burning tokens. We're not going to have a situation with our play to earn game where we're giving away tons and tons and tons of tokens for rewards, as we've seen, without mentioning names. We've seen some other companies that have done that, and it's just completely ruined the token. Too much sell pressure. So the main source of earning in our game will be via NFTs. And then we're going to have an NFT marketplace where the NFTs can be traded. It's specifically for our game, Rise of AITECH. But there will be rewards in tokens on a daily basis. But we're just going to be very mindful to begin with how much rewards we're giving away for winners in the project, or in the game. Sorry. And then monitor the sell pressure and take it from there. So that is another way how our token will be burnt.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds very cool. I like the concept of AI taking over the world. Seems pretty fitting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's under development, so it's looking pretty cool. We have an NFT collection that will be launching prior to the game being released. So I think we're gonna, excuse me, try to navigate and this is going to be quite a big task, but I believe we've got the team to do it. So navigate the listing with the NFT drop, not on the same day, but maybe shortly after listing. We'll then have the NFT drop, and we'll be selling, I think, around 8,000 ATEC bots. The bots give you utility in the way that they can be staked on our staking platform to earn rewards in ATEC tokens whilst the game is being developed still. We anticipate early next year for launch, version 1 for sure. And so holding an NFT, an ATEC bot, will give you utility because you can stake it and earn rewards whilst you're waiting for the game to be launched. And then it will give you a VIP access to the game when it's actually finally launched, and you'll get discounts on certain features within the game, and first refusal on new weapons, skins, and upgrades that may be released on our platform. So yeah, that's something that we've got on the
Okay.
go in the background as well.
Yeah, I feel like the having it's sounds like good utility. I feel like a lot of NFT projects are kind of it was a big thing and now everyone's kind of getting away from it. There's not as much utility with having them as there used to be. So
No,
that's good to
I
hear.
agree. Yeah, definitely.
And then you guys have staking, correct? Can you tell me a little about that?
Yeah, so shortly after listing, we have a staking platform that's already been built. There's going to be a number of different pools that have different state locking periods with different rewards. Obviously, the longer you lock in for, the higher the reward. The rewards are going to be respectable. They're not going to be, ridiculous like some projects that I've seen. It's not sustainable, and really, all you're doing with that is just kicking the can down the road. And there's going to be a huge dump at some point when that pool unlocks, whether it's a year or 18 months time. So yeah, the rewards are going to be respectable. We've not announced the reward rates yet because they've not been finalised. We have them drafted, but we're going to revisit them again before we list, and we'll announce them. But they're not stupidly high, but they're respectable rewards and enough to for someone to want to lock their tokens up for a period of time. So there may be pools like a 3 month pool, 6 month, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, because really the true value in this project, in my opinion, from my kind of perspective, will be once the data center is fully operational. So at the moment, we have a data center. We have up to 20 megawatts of power there, but we would need to buy some more transformers to get to that. Currently, I believe we've got 3 megawatts of power there with the transformers that we already have installed. So we'll have our first servers live. This is on Adrian's kind of part. This is what he deals with. But I've been told first servers will be live in April, and we'll have version 1 of our infrastructure as a service platform also live in April in anticipation for our listing. But in order to get that data center at full capacity is going to require more funding, and we're not going to raise that funding by selling tokens. So we're launching in the next maybe 2 to 4 weeks our equity offering. So we're raising further funds by selling equity in the business, which will allow us to buy more servers. They're very costly. You're talking 250 to 500K each, depending on the model. And the more servers we have, the more power we can generate, the more contracts we can service, the more revenue we can generate. And it's as simple as that. So really why I'm saying 18 months is because between now and, launching the equity offering, raising the funds, having the goods delivered, installing them, and then getting them live with contracts in place, you're talking, eight. Realistically, I'm a realist. I like to under promise and over deliver. But I would say 18 months time, we should be fully operational, and that is where the real value will come in our token. So really, for us, if people are staking for 12 to 18 months, it works perfectly in line with us being fully operational.
Gotcha. I love the under promise and over deliver. I feel like that's a good way to go about things. And then kind of my last question before we wrap up is, AI tech has kind of boomed recently and gotten talked about a lot more. And I was just curious where you kind of see this industry going in the next, what it be 5, 10 years, whatever you think. Kind of how much bigger do you think it's going to get? And are we just kind of scratching the surface right now?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's a very good question, and I'm sure if you ask this to 10 different people, you get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
There isn't really any kind of nobody really knows. All we know is that we are just scratching the surface. We see what happened at the beginning of the year with Chat GPT and what impact that's had on the market, and that's just one application. There's going to be tons and tons more like that, maybe bigger, maybe better. Um, but the sky's the limit with this, and I'm really excited about the future. But it's a very, very young market. Growth compound annual rate, I believe, has gone up significantly. I think last year was at about 40% per annum. I don't even know what it is now, but we've definitely superseded that, especially with the Chat GPT hype. UBS have predicted that artificial intelligence hardware and services market will hit 90 billion by 2025. which is pretty impressive. But yeah, I don't, I honestly, I wouldn't like to say, but there's going to be some changes that will be happening in the coming years that will change our lives forever. And it's quite scary, really, when you think about what can be done with AI. But we've just got to be careful and sensible with it, so that AI doesn't overtake the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's just hope it doesn't end up like the game.
Exactly that. Yeah, we do have to be responsible, and there does have to be, in my opinion, some kind of regulation in place that is there to protect what exactly can be done with this technology. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it can be very, very beneficial, but in the hands of the right people, I guess. So, Paulie,
Exactly that.
I'm about out of questions. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up, or while you got the stage, let people know what's coming or anything like that?
Well, look, we are preparing the listing. So I've been patiently working and negotiating launch pads. We have quite a few in place that our community will be happy with. Can't announce them yet, but I'll be excited to announce them when we're able to. We already have 7 average exchanges that we've agreed listing with, but we're working on a tier 2. So we're currently in negotiations with Gates, Huobi, KuCoin, Bybit, and BitGet. But we've already agreed Bitmarts, MEXC, lbankxt.com, Coinstore, and a couple of other exchanges. So that's something that is also pending. Listing, we're looking at May time. Exact date is to be announced. There's a lot to organise leading up to the listing. Our KOL marketing campaign will be starting next week at some point. We have some big media press releases going out on some tier 1 media outlets in the coming weeks as well. We have a very good rating on CertiK. I think we've got a trust score of 80 out of 100, KYC Gold for our core team members. We're in the top 200 out of thousands of projects on CertiK's platform, and we've not actually listed yet. So, yeah, things are looking really good for us, and working very hard behind the scenes, and looking forward to the listing, and hopefully the market, picks up a little bit before listing, so we can get the best possible outcome. But time will tell. But I'm confident. I'm confident in what we're doing.
Beautiful, Paulie. I love it. Well, I'm out of questions, so it was great chatting with you, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Sounds good. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.